Hey guys, welcome back to a new Traha Global video. In today's video, we are going to be checking out this shield. Yes, you guys probably seen the shield be dominating in PvP, both in 1v1s, 3v3s, faction PvP. And you guys are probably wondering, what is the best spec? Okay, how can I counter shield? How can I hold aggro? If you guys have all these questions, don't worry, I will be answering them in this video. So let's jump into it. Give me a thumbs up, make sure you hit the sub button, and let's check out the shield. Yes. So, I got you guys because I played some shield. I lost some rating to understand what is the best spec and everything. I asked around for some specs, and I came up with a very decent spec. Remember, this is my personal spec. So if it doesn't work for you guys, there are probably better specs out there that you guys can try, but you cannot use this spec as a start and then do some tweaks to it. Now, the spec, let's look at the skills first, okay? Now, the point of the shield is you're supposed to be very tanky, right? You're supposed to be tanky, you have a lot of stuns, and this is why you have this, your first basic skill, which would be rush. Now, the rush skill, it stuns, and it does coverage recovery, and it does damage, okay? Not a lot of damage, but it's mainly used for the stun, right? And it guarantees crit damage to enemies. So this is a very nice skill to have for CC. Next up, you have this skill right here. Deals damage to enemy relative to your defense. Now, this is where the shield shines. Is because the damage of the skill is based on your defense. That's why you want to build it super tanky with high defense, so you do more damage depending on your defense. So this is why you have this. And this is very nice to reduce the enemy's movement speed to 40% movement speed reduction, so you guys can keep up and keep smashing. Next up is this skill. Deals damage again relative to your defense to all enemies within 5 meters. It works very good again. It does a knockdown for 2 seconds and more CC, of course, and again uses your defense. And then you have this shield. You guys have probably seen this shield being used a lot. It heals 4% of your max HP 3 times. High defense increase, immune to CC when you're using it. Is very good defense skill to use if you try to counter, like if the mage is using their ult or the assassin is going crazy. It's a very goes sneak mode. It's very easy to do a nice counter on the assassins and so on. So this is a skill wall. Make sure you use it. And then you have the ultimate. You want to be using condemn skill. This is your high damage skill. It does a nice AoE too. It does additional, it does damage, it stuns, and if you do an excellent timing, you guarantees crit damage. So this is a very good damage skill. Now for the passive that I'm using is, first of all, is increased defense. Gain additional defense each time you take damage, because again, when did we look at the skills earlier? Your damage is based off defense. So you want to build your tank super tanky, because the more defense you have, the more damage you will do. Next skill you want to be using is this one, impenetrable. Increase defense and increase additional defense when you block. Again, another defense skill. Next up is increase block chance, and then taking damage reduces damage taken, and CD of skill slot 5. So this is a very important skill, because every time you take damage, the cooldown of your big skill right here will go down faster. So this is a great skill to use in 1v1, because they don't have a choice in 1v1. They have to attack you, so you'll get the cooldown faster on this skill. So this is the skill that you want to be using for PvP, mainly 1v1s, 3v3, battlegrounds, faction PvP. Works great. The cards that I am using are these cards. From Hell, of course, for block chance. Cassia for, I got this card today actually, I'm very happy. Damage reduction. You want to use this guy for damage reflection, so when people hit you they take damage. And then the last 3 cards I'm using for some damage, some pure damage increase. And then this card increase crit damage. I might switch out this card for crit damage too, because why? Because like I showed you guys, with success guarantees crit damage to enemies. So you want to be increasing your crit damage. So this is the skills I use. The traits I have is full defense build, and you would probably go for roll CD too, but I want to have a little more damage because I am already very tanky. And then this is my build for my profession. Movement speed, of course, gotta have movement speed because I'm already big and tanky. And then for the gear, you want to go with full defense stats on your gear, of course, you know, as much defense you can. PvP defense is great. Just build it very tanky. Now, this is very important. Now, if you're doing PvP and you feel like you're way too tanky and you don't do enough damage, then you can switch up and put a little more damage spirit cards. Don't change your skills, but just change your cards, change maybe your gear, change maybe your skills to balance it out. If you're doing 1v1, so you're seeing like you're way too tanky, you need more damage to be able to win some fight, you can sacrifice a little bit of tankiness. Now, this is my build, but let's look at the other builds. Now, in Europe, I don't know about NA, any other servers, but in Europe, you have this guy. You can see he's a shield user. He's not using shield right now, but he's mainly shield user. And he has insanely high rating, okay? Now, this guy's spec, I talked to him and he showed me his spec. So if you guys want to see his spec, this is his spec right here. This again, he has very high CP. You take this into account. He has 94,000 combat power. Okay, so having all the high combat power, you guys probably know this guy Valley, this guy right here, Dark One, Pal. All these guys are shield users because combat power and shield goes together very well. I mean, combat power goes well with everything, but with shield it goes very well because it becomes super tanky and can do a lot of damage. So the skills he's using these skills, the same skills that I showed you guys, right? But his traits are different. This is what he uses as his traits. He has full on the defense like this, and then on the attack he has a lot of damage focus. Same goes here. He has a lot of damage focus on his attack because he's already super tanky, so he's trying to deal more damage. This is the cards that he uses when he does PvP. So again, have some defense cards, but mainly damage based card because he's already super tanky, so he's taking advantage of it and then using a very insane build where he's already super tanky, but he can also dish out a lot of damage. So check this spec out. If it works out, maybe it does you guys some wonders. Okay, now for those people that are wondering about PvE, okay, PvE spec, I got you guys. There's very minimal things you guys have to change when it comes to PvE spec. You want to switch out, as you guys can see here, I have this skill right here. This is increase your defense and threat, and your slot 1 and 4 now taunts enemies. So this skill right here and this skill right here will taunt enemies, okay, if you guys use this. So make sure you guys are using this if you guys are doing dungeons, so you guys can actually aggro and taunt the enemies. And I think also, yeah, 1 and 4, and this skill is also very nice to have if you want to aggro from long range from faction. If you're doing faction, for example, this is a great skill to have, so you guys can throw the hammer from a long range, this skill right here, so you guys can aggro from long range. This is what I would use for PvE. Now for PvE, depending on what content you're doing, you're already tanky, so for your traits you can probably go full damage on your traits. Even with your spirits and your cards, you can probably go full damage on your cards too when you're doing PvE, because you're already tanking this. Most likely you will not nothing can hurt you, so just go other than that full damage build. But again, you want to have full defense like I did, like I showed you guys here. If you go to traits, you want to have full defense because again, like I said, defense equals damage. Okay, your skills are still going to be based on your defense, but go damage where you can go damage. That's what I would do for PvE. Okay, so again, if you guys are thinking about countering shield, it's very hard to counter shield, but the big thing that you guys can look for when you're playing against somebody that has a shield is the skill right here. When they have this up, do not use your ultimate skill because they will take a very less damage and they're immune to CC during this. So when you're fighting shield, watch out for this skill mainly. But again, you want to just try to keep your range if you can when you're fighting shield. When they jump you, they have 2 skills where they can charge, unfortunately, but if you can keep watching when they use these 2 skills, so you can get a little bit of range, you keep them in distance. But shield overall is very strong right now. 1v1s, 3v3s, everything overall, so be careful for the shield. Definitely check it out though if you guys want to. But that is it for my shield guide. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, Leave a like, leave a comment. If you have any questions about the shield, let me know in the comments below. If you have something that you would like to improve or add on, let me know in the comments below. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this video helped you guys out, and check out this video right there.